Here we are, everybody. We are here interviewing Glenn Hardin of the TCB band with Elvis Presley, and we're going to be asking him quite a few questions today, a couple of different parts. This is part one, and remember, subscribe, like, and also go to our website. And here we go. Glenn, one of the first things I want to ask is, how did you get started playing the piano?
Oh, I just picked it up when I was a kid, playing by ear. An old friend of ours came over one night and saw our piano, and he said his name was Conway Woods, and he said, "Oh wow, you got a piano?" He said, "I play piano." We said, "Please play for us." And the guy sat down and was completely amazing. He played gospel music songs. And for some reason or other, being a kid, after he left, I thought, well, if he can do that, surely I can do that. So I think it was the very next day I got up and I started pecking around. And I don't know how long it took, but I finally got me a little melody going. No place like home. I certainly didn't get my left hand going in one day, I can tell you that. But anyway, pretty soon I guess I did. And I was a small little guy, and I had a burr haircut, and I could chew bubble gum and play the piano and blow bubbles and win the talent contest every time.
Wow. Tell us your relationship and how that relationship built with the Crickets, Buddy Holly's band.
Well, for quite a while I lived in Lubbock, Texas, and Jerry Allison lived there. And I knew Sonny Curtis very well. Still know him. He's right down the road. So just being friends with Jerry Allison, I was asking questions about showbiz and his time with Buddy Holly and on and on. And it was very interesting to me. And so when he was in 1962, he said he was going out to LA for a while to make a record deal for the Crickets, Liberty Records with Snuff Garrett, which he did. And he asked me if I wanted to ride along, and I said, yeah, I'd love to. So I rode along with him, and I think I never came back. I stayed, and I got lucky and got a job at the Palomino Club, and it was a wonderful place. A lot of showbiz people hung out there. It served me well, and we played country music there, which I knew very well. I grew up with it, so that was all pretty easy.
Who was some of your first people that you recorded with on record?
Oh gosh, I'd have to think about that.
Give me two or three of them that ring out in your mind.
Well, Merle Haggard for one. I made a lot of records with a bunch of country artists, and I can't think of any of them right now. Because there was a lot of good hillbillies from Bakersfield. Merle being one of those. Merle, he's not country.
Buck Owens.
Anyway, Buck Owens. I knew Buck real well. I'm sorry, I'm kind of blank. But I made a lot of records with a lot of other people, like Dean Martin. And, you mentioned a while ago
Bing Crosby.
Bing Crosby.
Tell me about the Bing Crosby, if you recall how that came about.
Oh, I did a lot of work for Jimmy Bowen, and he recorded Bing Crosby and Frankie Lane, who I truly admired. What a singer. He was a great big guy, and he had a big chest, and he'd have to sing up to the microphone. And during the recording, he'd sing Rawhide and this and that to entertain us all. It was a lot of fun. Anyway, LA, I went out there at a very opportune time. There was a lot of work going on. The record biz was just soaring. Record sales had doubled 6 times in a what, a 5-year period, I think it was. Yeah. Anyway, a lot going on.
How many sessions were you doing at that time that you were out in California, out in LA? Would you say in a given, I don't know, a given week, given year?
Oh gosh, I don't know. I'd be busy. It kind of came in streaks, it seemed like. I'd get busy a while, and then I'd have some time off, and then I'd get busy again, and just one thing led to another, on and on. And of course, I did a lot of work with John Denver, Emmylou Harris. I treasure those records we made together with Emmylou. And I see her. She lives nearby.
Oh, she does? So you get to see her?
I get to see her. We go to lunch together quite often.
Wow, that's cool. When did you start doing your arranging of the songs with the different artists? Not long after the recording started with the sessions, or was it like in a combination of the two?
Actually, I was working on that TV show Shindig, and I had I'm self-taught, piano and arranging music, self-educated, and anyway, I read a lot of books about the matter, and I had a guy that I could call and ask questions. I went to see him a few times. Right now I can't remember his name, but he was a very nice guy and told me books I should read. He loaned me a book or two. I'll think of his name in a minute. Anyway, it's unimportant. So I taught myself how to write music. And during Shindig, they'd have only people who had hit records each week. And I noticed, sometimes they have orchestra or, some other musicians other than a rhythm section. And I asked the producer, his name was Jack Good, an English guy.
I'm sorry.
And he was a real nice guy. He made TV fun. And I asked him I told him I could write music now, and could I write some of those parts for various artists like Ike and Tina Turner, for example. And he let me do that, and that was very helpful to me.
Wow, that is incredible. Did you do any arranging for any of the music scores, like for movies and stuff during that time, or would that come later?
Not movies. I've never worked in movies.
Have you ever thought about it?
Well, I did, but I determined I didn't need to. I had more. Came to a point where I had more work than I could cover, and I didn't need to reach into something I knew nothing about.
Of the people that you have worked with, outside of Elvis Presley, which one would you say brought you the most satisfying work, or the most satisfying career thing that you would look and say, I'm glad that I went ahead and I worked with them because it enhanced my ability? It took me places that maybe I wouldn't have went if I would not have had that job or worked with that person.
Well, that's a good question. And seems like everything I did was a learning experience. The records I made with Emmylou Harris and the Hot Band was a real joy. And I always learned something. Recording is a easy thing to do, but it is a learning experience, really. And so everybody I worked with I came to the point where I had a fund of knowledge about all that, and it served me well, made it easy for me.
When did you finally make the move to Nashville, and what got you to come over here from LA?
Well, I came here in 1988. Seems like the record biz kind of took a slump for a while, and I didn't think it was going to get any better. And not only that, LA was beginning to change a lot because we were overwhelmed with immigrants from south of the border, and they made LA quite a different place. Crime was coming our way, and property was just through the roof, you know. So I I had a lot of friends down here. I came down here in '88 to do Emmylou's Bluebird album, and everybody leaned on me to move here. You know, I mean, really leaned on me. They were all friends of mine. So I said, "Oh, I would never leave LA. I love LA." But I went back home, and it seems like I hadn't been home 20 minutes till I thought, you know, maybe it's time to get out of here, you know, sell my house and just make a move. And so I did that. I came here in '88.
What would you say would be your top 2 or 3 songs that you played on that were non-Elvis songs with other artists that are your favorites?
Well, a lot of, all of the Emmylou Harris stuff was wonderful. And made a lot of records with John Denver, and those were really great records. Burl Haggard.
Did you have any work-ins, or did you work any with Bob Dylan during that period of time?
No, I didn't. I wish I had. I wish he'd have called. He never did.
Well, it seems to me like you got a call from quite a few people, though.
Well, I did. Yes.
I mean,
yes, I did.
What was your impression of Dean Martin when you worked with him? And did you work on his TV show as well?
No, I only recorded with him. He was a wonderful guy. He only wanted to do one take. Now, he might do another take if the producer could convince him that he could do it better. What happened was we'd make him a demo of what we're going to record, and we'd make it exactly like the record's going to be. It would have the intro and an instrumental and the ending. And all of that. So he would put that cassette in and play it every day when he went to play golf. So when he came to the session, he was well prepared. He was ready.
Wow.
And he'd come in and we'd do one take. Quite likely to be dismissed.
For one more question for part 1 of our interview, I noticed that you also worked Nancy Sinatra. I seen her name in there as you doing something for her. Am I correct in saying that?
I did play on her records. A dear friend of mine, Don Randy, played on her records, and I did meet her once upon a time, and we got to hang out for many hours at a wonderful party somewhere in Europe. I can't remember right now. But it was a lot of fun. It was in Vienna, I do believe. So we discovered we had a lot of mutual friends.
Right.
And we had a really good time. And it was a really good party. And I love her dearly. And always will.
Well, this is the end of part 1, everybody, but we're going to take a break and we're going to come back and talk on part 2, and that's when we're going to be digging into Elvis Presley. So we stay tuned.
I can't wait to hear it.
Me too.